Honourable Speaker, I thank the Honourable Member for that question. The Honourable Prime Minister and Honourable colleagues, despite the significant challenges caused by the COVID-19 pandemic in the global supply chain and management systems for medicine and medical supplies, and also the challenges that it's put on the health systems, it is important as a ministry that we are able to fulfill our functions, both in responding to COVID and also our normative core functions. And we know that the reality is that the COVID-19 response continues to be placed on top of the normative services, but we also realize that the challenges are not limited to Fiji, and indeed many other countries around the world. They struggle in terms of even being able to maintain their normative functions. We had strategized, Honourable Speaker, and ever since the beginnings of the pandemic, we had gone through our remodeling exercise where we pushed out a more outreach-based services, including sending our specialists to be able to do clinics in our health centers, in the subdivisional hospitals, being able to send out the FEMAT to be able to go out into these subdivision hospitals to look after Fijians in these areas. And this has all come in a way to be able to help us in terms of maintaining our normative work. Honourable Speaker, at the moment as I speak, we have 56 active sites for screening clinics outside or beside our health facilities. Our nursing stations and health centers within our communities have remained open, apart from those facilities that have been sequestrated. As we have known, previously for 21 days, Lautoka was sequestrated. And as I speak, there are areas within the CWM that are on closure from other areas as we begin to look at flushing out the virus from within the facility. The major hospitals have maintained the essential health services, but with the support that's been provided. And our health inspectors continue with the environmental health services of ensuring that we mitigate for the resurgence of communicable diseases such as leptospirosis, typhoid, and dengue, as we're beginning to see the climate change and as we head towards our cyclone season. We have also transferred 11 patients abroad since the 1st of January this year at a cost of more than 120,000 Fijian dollars, and also sent 12 and sent patients to New Zealand under the medical treatment scheme that we share with New Zealand. Honourable Speaker, on the closure of 19 Lautoka containment zones, we set up bellwether-capable facilities in Sigatoka and Rakiraki Subdivision Hospital. They have the capability to be able to operate as a small hospital, with being able to do emergency cesarean sections, the treatment of trauma, emergency laparotomies, and also the management of children, adults with acute and chronic diseases, and also the management of antenatal care and postnatal care mothers. The two facilities were manned by specialists that were from CWM, and also a contingent came down from Lautoka. During the time that Lautoka Hospital was sequestrated for 21 days, the FEMAT Field Hospital went across to the Lautoka, and at Nandogu Park set up a field hospital which were able to triage patients, do general outpatient and specialist outpatient services, dental clinics, pediatrics, eye clinic, antenatal, emergency, surgical, and maternity services. This was also supported by the marine vessel Vevueti, which was a hospital ship berthed at Lautoka Wharf, which was the center for delivery and also for emergency cesarean sections. Honourable Speaker, after 24 days, the FEMAT Field Hospital, with the support of Commissioner Weston and also other civil servants, were able to see 1,562 patients. And out of the 1,562 patients, 359 of them were needed to have dental treatment, 170 were admitted, 65 surgical operations were carried out on the marine vessel Vevueti, and also at the field hospital, 69 mothers were delivered in. They managed to do 209 diagnostic tests, and also multiple prescriptions were dispensed. We are facing, as I've alluded to, the challenge at CWM, and also as I speak, the officials led by the Permanent Secretary are working and ensuring that we are able to have essential services also available in the Greater Suva. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.